right, I want to just tell you straight up. In the 10 plus years that I've been PC gaming, I have never once in my life seen this level of success for any single player game on the PC platform. Black Myth Wukong, within its first 5 hours of release, has already surpassed Elden Ring and Cyberpunk for most concurrent players. As we speak, there's over 1,900,000 people playing this, and it's about to surpass Palworld. This level of success is unprecedented. A new record is about to be set yet again for another consecutive year on Steam. To think, Palworld was lighting the world on fire and breaking records, and now Black Myth Wukong is the next game to do it. It's a testament that, gee, maybe PC gamers do buy their games. Maybe they're not all just pirates and hackers who are costing developers money. Maybe success like this is the reason why Sony and Microsoft are starting to rely on PC gaming and treating it like first-class citizens. The results speak. And yes, I got the game. Well, it was given to me. That fat hard iLobo game. Let me tell you, I am quite surprised how well this game actually runs. Well, don't get it twisted, the opening segment is where the worst performance happens, so it leads you to believe that the rest of the game is going to be a mess, but I was averaging about 70 to 90 FPS. And no, it was not the stuttering mess that I had read in reviews. The game is actually exceeding my expectations on optimization. For the first time in my life, I do not fear an Unreal Engine 5 game. This one is doing way better than I expected. I am quite honestly shocked. I expected a disaster. But this right here is probably single-handedly the best usage of Unreal Engine 5 so far. The visuals are being pushed, and it's quite impressive to see. Now, I'm not going to do a deep analysis of the graphics settings and everything, because that's not what Fratanga Plays is about. You're here to get frit-pilled, you're here to see salt, and salt you shall receive. Because, of course, this level of success, in spite of gaming journalists trying to put it down, is a thing of beauty, poetic justice at its finest. You see, days before launch, the development team behind Black Myth Wukong sent out a small list of demands to anybody receiving the review code. Oh, a list of demands? I don't like that, Frit. How dare these developers ask something out of people who are getting a free review copy? Indeed. Well, what is this demand? Well, the demand was...
Okay, I'm actually surprised here, but I have confirmed with the US creator I trust that the Black Myth Wukong guideline email is real. An extended conversation with an email tracing back to the company resulted in an actual code for the game. It's not some random Google document.
Do's and don'ts. Do's, enjoy the game. Don't. Do not insult other influencers or players. Do not use any offensive language / humor. Do not include politics, violence, nudity, feminist propaganda, fetishization, and other content that instigates negative discourse.
God damn it! Oh, God damn it!
Do not use trigger words such as quarantine or isolation or COVID-19.
Now President of the United States, President Obama.
Do not discuss content related to China's game industry policies, opinions, news, etc.
No more kissing China's ass.
China's actually a free and loving country.
I'm out.
Wait, Town!
So many people are defending this on Twitter, but companies restricting speech as a condition of reviewing their products isn't something I ever thought people would champion.
Ironic.
Oh my God! It's always Paul Tassi all the time. Imagine being personally offended that a developer asks you to keep the politics and personal world affairs outside of a video game review. How novel of a concept. Wow. Bastards. They're limiting my ability to not keep my mouth shut on stupid, irrelevant things when it comes to reviewing their product. After that Screen Rant review where they docked points on the game for not having enough whammon and for the developers having some spicy, edgy jokes against whammon, can you blame the studio? It is not an unreasonable demand, and it's not against my frith pitch. This is what you gotta do if you want access to a review code. It's something that's given to you for free. It's a privilege. You're not entitled to it. You must agree to their terms and conditions in order to get that access. These reviewers want to have their cake and eat it too. They want to be able to get a free review copy so that they can write an entire fucking paragraph about how racist and sexist the studio is, when nobody is clicking on your reviews for any of that. But of course, it doesn't stop the woke crowd. Because you know, had these developers made a list of demands that said, please do not talk about DEI, please do not talk about ESG, please do not talk about wokeness, oh my god, you know they would all be simultaneously cheering at the exact same time. They would champion this game to the end of the earth, but instead, they see that the developers don't want feminist propaganda, and they get offended.
Based? Based? Hello?
How can it be a video game review if I have no right to talk about politics? Ugh! This is how their mind operates. Leave it to woke gaming journalists to never shut the fuck up about things that are completely unrelated to video games. You have them writing articles complaining about the lack of females. And what did that result in? Exactly what I said last video, a smash hit. Screen Rant really wrote that and thought to themselves, oh yeah, once gamers get a hold of this article, once gamers see how they treat women at that studio, it's over for them. Instead, we're getting record-breaking sales. You can't make this shit up. After the pressure this studio received to forcefully diversify and be more inclusive in their project, they came under attack from some of these woke sites. Oh, whoa, what do you mean we can't talk about feminism in our review? Oh, that's too far. Gaming's come a long way. Don't you know it's less about the games now and more about my own political beliefs? I love it. I love seeing these developers succeed after bitch slapping the industry. China does not give a fuck. China, for all of its flaws, seems to have something that we're lacking over here, and that's a spine. Not bending the knee to these woke lunatics who every chance they get wants to personally butcher the shit out of every product. Is it any coincidence the Acolyte is getting canceled? There's nothing good that ever comes from this crowd. They kill franchises before they can get their feet off the ground, but that didn't happen with Black Myth Wukong. Perhaps maybe I'm overhyping it. Maybe I'm a little too excited about this, but I'm a spiteful ass motherfucker. I very much get off on the anger this causes the woke crowd.
I admit I do too.
Don't talk about China's game industry policies is way more of a red flag than anything else in this list, but in any case, it's all disturbing. It is wild to me that this actually made it out the door. These guidelines had to have gone past multiple people and departments. Also, creators casually signing this and not speaking up is just as wild, unfortunately, just less surprising.
Just look at how they act when they can't have their way, when they're told no, shut the fuck up about feminism for once and just review our game as is. To the woke alike, that's like telling them they are not allowed to breathe. Quite oftentimes, a lot of this woke crowd is pretty autistic, and you know how the autists are when you say no? It's what we're dealing with here. These are the results of what it's like to be a Sweet Baby Inc. free product. Not being tempted with that 7 million guidance fee or whatever. These devs instead chose to believe in their product and stood by what they believe in general, which is that, you know, feminism is garbage. But most importantly, it serves no purpose in a game review. These simple guidelines that this company asked for should be the standard. Enough with the type of reviews we've been getting here in America. The last thing we want is another Alyssa Mercante review where she compares defeating bosses and fighting enemies to her fighting sexism on Twitter. Articles and reviews put out like that are disgrace. It's why gaming journalism itself cannot be taken serious in the first place. It's a breeding ground for activists with the biggest egos in the universe. The best part is seeing sites that would never have talked about Black Myth Wukong or ever cared about his existence, only started publishing articles on it once the no COVID and no feminism request was put out by the developers. And then all of a sudden, everybody was writing an article. They were popping out of nowhere. From IGN, Sports Illustrated, Forbes, Games Industry Biz, everybody that you could think of that would have never cared about this game is only talking about it because it dared to say no feminism allowed.
I'm staying. I'm finishing my
review.
That's where they all froze up. They could not believe what they were reading. They took that shit so personal. Hit a little too close to home, huh? Well, good. Only the terminally offended should take offense to that. It's really a simple request. The crowd that is oftentimes telling everybody else they're too political, stop calling everything woke, sure has a big issue with one game company asking them to not be political. Rules are for thee, but not for me. When we're asked to not talk about COVID or feminism, it's a problem. Well, not for me anyway, and definitely not for you guys or the developers or the entire gaming industry, or society as a whole. If more games can become smash successes after rejecting modernity the way Black Myth Wukong did, then I'll be a happy camper. Take my money. I support what you're doing. What a noble cause, really, honestly. The same result happened with Hogwarts Legacy. It's like they don't understand that the more they try to lecture people on what's right and wrong, the more they try to involve external factors that play no significant role in the enjoyment of your games, it doesn't register with them. They don't understand. The more they advocate against these games that go against the grain, the more they contribute to its success. But here we are, we're officially at over 2 million as of the ending of this video. Black Myth Wukong just surpassed Palworld. So, what did we learn? Every single game journalists are against always succeed. Palworld, Hogwarts Legacy, and now we can add Black Myth Wukong to that long list. Let this trend continue, please, for the love of God. You have no idea how refreshing it is to have a DEI and ESG-free game for once that Sweet Baby Inc. can't corrupt. Like, comment, share, and subscribe if you so choose to. I'm going back to playing some more Black Myth Wukong, and I'll see you in the next one.
Free Congo sucks ass.